Hey, good day, everyone. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? And guess what, y'all? It's Lifestyle Focus Friday. And guess what? We're going to be talking about protecting your legacy with some smart estate planning ideas. And, I think this is a conversation that's well overdue. We've been talking about products, we've been talking about services, but if you're worried about what happens to your assets, to your loved ones, or to your legacy after you're gone, you don't want to leave this channel. You don't want to go anywhere, because this video, we're going to explore the importance of having a smart estate plan and how it can protect you, your hard-earned assets, your wealth, and it can ensure that your wishes are respected and you can leave the lasting legacy that you intended to for generations to come. So we'll be having a conversation from wills and trusts to powers of attorney to the beneficiary designations. So we're going to uncover everything you need to know about creating a comprehensive estate plan and what it reflects in your values and your goals. So do me a favor, stay tuned with us till the end. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it, because after this episode, you'll begin building your legacy the way you intended to do it. And we're just going to be happy to be a part of your building process. So sit back, relax, and unwind, and join us on the inside. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? I'm Ronco Johnson, your host, and I'll see you on the inside. Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach, and I'm happy to be here today to talk to you about our episode today. We're going to be talking about protecting your legacy using a proper estate plan and how that looks. And I can't wait to dig into it, because some of you have been sending us messages and messages and messages on how to properly do this and when is the right time to get a trust and when is not the right time. And we're just going to kind of debunk some of the issues that are out there and help you get ready and protect your legacy and be smart about it. I think that's the best thing to do, right? And that's what we're here for. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, our friends, that continue to join us every week and send us emails. Thank you so much. Your comments mean so much. We need your influence in the house. We need you in the room. And I have to make sure I say that very early. And we greatly appreciate your efforts, your time, and you sharing this information with one of your friends and family members and telling them all about what we're doing here. It's making it even a more spectacular opportunity to help as many people as we possibly can, and we want to thank you for that. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. I want to say thank you joining us again. Thank you for coming back to us. For those of you that have never been here, welcome back. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? I'm Ronco Johnson, your host, and I just want to make sure that I'm going to encourage you to do a couple things as we go through today's conversation. I want to make sure that if you hear something, a nugget of something that is important to you, and you want to make a comment, please do so. Please do so. Just put the words takeaways right in front of the word, and then put your comment. Maybe I'll get a chance to read it live on air while we're here. And I want to hear your comments. We want to encourage you to do a few things. If you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up button, or that subscribe button, and share it with your friends. And you know what? While we're doing it, I can turn my cell phone off because I'm going to be talking to you guys nonstop for the next few minutes, right? But don't forget to hit that notification bell. As you can hear, my notification bell goes off even during the show to remind me that it's time for When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? So be sure you hit that notification bell. We want to make sure you're included on all of our upcoming content, and you're getting these messages, and you're spreading this financial education and literacy across the world. So without further ado, what are we talking about today? What are we talking about today? Our topic today is about smart estate planning and how we approach it, right? And how do we tackle the challenges of creating the absolute perfect estate plan to protect your legacy? So let's see if we can get right into it. I don't know if there is such thing as a perfect estate plan, but we're going to do the best we can to make sure we explain why you want something like this. What we call a smart estate plan is something very simple. It's very simple. It's a strategic approach. And when we're thinking about our estate plans, we really must start thinking strategically, right? When we start thinking 2, 3, 4 generations out, we must really start thinking strategically. Why? Because it's going to affect generations to come. And we want to make sure that they're around and they're getting exactly what we intended for them to have, especially in today's economy, how things are so unsure. I think people are unsure these days of what's going to happen and who gets what. And governments are taking away from us and all these crazy things, radical things that are happening in the world today. This is the one thing that you can control, right? What I call smart estate planning is just that, a strategy, an approach to help you manage and distribute your assets in a way that you're insured it to be. It's your legacy, so it's up to you to protect it and be very thoughtful about how it's passed on in the future. So the acronym SMART is what we're going to use today. So you can be interpreted in many different ways, but generally it embodies the principles of making estate planning effective, and such as being very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's right. That's what makes it smart. Very simple concept today. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And this is why smart estate planning matters. This is why it matters. Because if you're out there and you're thinking about it, you probably want to put some of this stuff in action right away and stop thinking about it. It's time to start moving. That's what millionaires and billionaires do. They go ahead and get past the heavy stuff so they can get into enjoying the lighter stuff. And the lighter stuff is enjoying your wealth, the wealth of time, creating memories. All these different things are important, right? That are important to us as we go on our journey in this human experience, right? I wanted to say hello to our folks in the back room. I see everybody joining us right now. I see Miss Wilson. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I see you, Miss Henderson. Thank you for joining us. Good Lord, we have people sitting around hanging out. I see some folks out there in the back, just hanging out with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And, we're going to encourage you to speak up, say something. Tell us where you're from, who you are. Let me say something back to you so that you know that we're engaged, right? So, how was your weekend? How was your week? Did your week have anything specific in it? Did you have a measurable week? Was there something achievable that happened in your week that you planned for that you were able to achieve? And was it relevant? And then lastly, was it time bound? If you said yes to all of those, that means you've had a smart week. And today we're going to be talking about why smart estate planning matters and why it matters to you and why you should consider some of these ideas that we're talking about. I'm going to jump right into it today. We get you in and get you out of here pretty early. But let's talk about preserves wealth. When it comes to estate planning, when you're going to be very careful in outlining your distribution of your assets, and I'm saying the distribution of your assets because that's the time when you're probably not around to hand them out yourself. So by having some smart planning, it helps you prevent disputes in the family. It ensures that your hard-earned assets and that the wealth that you have worked hard for goes to the loved ones you intended it to go to. I think that's just perfectly simple. You're in control. Your decision matters. Even after life, your voice is the loudest voice in the room. Number two, minimizing taxes. When you're minimizing taxes, we're talking about incorporating some tax efficient strategies that can reduce your financial burden. That burden usually falls on your heirs, or keep it more than your wealth in the family. Maybe you got a blended family. Maybe a concern that maybe you're going to disinherit the family unintentionally. So these are some things that need to be reviewed, and sit down with your financial professional, your attorneys, and your financial team to make sure that you're not doing these things and that everything goes the way you really want it. When we sat down and did my estate plan, I tell you, it made for some interesting conversation. I think it's important for you to update your wishes, if you will, probably maybe every 3 to 5 years, because so many people in my family have passed on, and things have happened and things have changed so dramatically that it requires an update. It requires that update. And if I were to talk about wills and trusts, number three, it provides clarity. A well-documented plan eliminates ambiguity. So it makes it easier for you. It makes it easier for your family to honor your wishes without any confusion. We're back. We're back. We're back. We had experienced some technical difficulties there. So, hey, I'm looking forward to finishing up what we're talking about, but we'll go from here. But we're talking about providing clarity, right? So, a well documented plan eliminates any confusion in the family, right? It makes it easier for your family to honor your wishes and make sure that there's no confusion or conflict. And sometimes it doesn't take very much to cause this big of a conflict. Sometimes the will and trust are just in place just so there won't be any mismanagement or misunderstandings between family members. Number four, protects your dependents. See, a smart estate plan includes a provision that is just for the dependents. It ensures their financial security, even in their absence or even in your absence, so that we can make sure that your dependents get their fair share. What belongs to them? And it's not mismanaged or an accidental disinheritance. So you don't want that to happen. Number five, ensure. We want to ensure that we have continuity and the safeguards that family-owned businesses and property ensures that this can be passed on seamlessly down the line as time goes on. These are the five matters that most people tend to look at very, 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 very carefully, right? We want to make sure that we're taking the smart approach that means not only are we focusing on the legal or the financial aspects, but we're also considering the emotional and personal impact that goes along with, your choices. And a lot of times we don't have people to talk us through that. So this is a meaningful way to provide your loved ones while leaving a legacy that reflects your values, your goals, and your priorities. So if you haven't started and you want to get started on exploring this very specific aspect of your estate planning, I'm here. Give us a call. You can go to www.roncojohnson.com and send me a request. Maybe we do some one-on-one if you're interested in having some conversation about what that looks like, because estate planning is very essential. But many people have to face the hurdles while they can, and don't delay it. Depending on your situation, it could become more complicated than others. But I can promise you this. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait. Because if I can help you, here are some of the common strategies that most people, or the common challenges that most people have to overcome. Number one is procrastination. And why it happens. Because people often see estate planning as something that they can go and do at a later date or associated with an unpleasant topic like mortality and life insurance and those types of things. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you don't want to wait till you have a lights out moment. Our goal here is to be ready, to get ready, because we know it's going to happen one day. Everybody has a start date and everybody has an end date. So while you're in between those two dates, it makes sense to go ahead and get this done, because the consequence to delaying can leave your loved ones unprepared and leave an unintended situation for the family have to figure out how to distribute your assets in the best way that they know how. Maybe not how you would have wanted it. Number two, misunderstanding the process. And this can be common. This is very common, to misunderstand the process. If you've never been through an estate planning conversation, a lot of families make this wrong. I know even in my family, this part is the part that most people got wrong, right? And why that happens? Well, the legal and the financial jargon alone surrounding estate planning can make it seem more complicated than what it probably really is. So the consequences to that is it causes confusion. It can result in an incomplete plan or decisions that are not in line with someone's views. And that's an issue. That's a big issue. And can't you see, if somebody misinterprets those plans, how that interpretation can get bigger and bigger and bigger and cause more confusion throughout the family? It can destroy the communication in a family. Number 3, failure to update your plans. Why does this happen? Life changes. As I mentioned, things happen. You got like marriages, you have divorces, you have birth of children, you have changes of financial circumstances, all overlooked when we're updating our plans. But the consequences to that is very simple. Outdated plans may not reflect your current intentions, or it may provide for new circumstances. It may not provide enough based off of where you were several years ago. If you've taken a financial swing in this, it may not be adequate. So you do have to look at these plans and make sure that you're above board, right? Number 4, lack of communication. Why does this happen? It's simple. If you can have a discussion about estate planning in your family, this can make you feel uncomfortable or even lead to family disagreements. However, the consequences without clear communication, disputes can arise anyway, and your wishes may not ever be understood or followed. So you want to make sure that you keep an open line of communication at all times. Number 5, understanding the importance of a plan. And why does this happen? Some people mistakenly think estate planning is only for the wealthy or elderly, and that's not true. The consequences of this is without having a plan, even modest estates can be subject to legal complexities, unnecessary taxes, and mismanagement of the asset. So you want to make sure that you have a plan in place. A plan of any kind is better than no plan at all. Number 6, ignoring the role of taxes and debt. Many don't realize how taxes, debt, or probate costs can reduce the value of their estate. And the consequences behind this is that loved ones may receive less than intended due to a mismanagement or unanticipated financial obligations, such as paying more taxes. Maybe you didn't look at it. Maybe that wasn't factored in when they did the planning. It happens more often than you think. So number 7, you might want to choose the wrong executors or the trust. If you're choosing the wrong executors or the trustees, this happens when decisions about who should oversee your estate might be made without considering the complexities or the trustworthiness required. This is a difficult situation here. Put a lot of time into that. And trustworthiness has a lot to do with it. But the consequences of mismanagement or delays could arise when the executor isn't equipped to handle the responsibilities, which leads to more miscommunication in the family. So if you can overcome some of these challenges, and it requires a proactive effort on the trustees, and often guidance from a legal counsel or financial professionals to point you in the right direction. So with the right support, the commitment that you need to have to be stayed informed, makes these obstacles easier to navigate, right? So we want to make sure that they're easier to navigate. So we don't want any of these issues to resonate with you. I hope it doesn't. And I hope you haven't experienced them. But there's going to be somebody that probably is watching this program that this resonates with, these challenges you've seen or you've experienced. I'm here to help you clarify or explore these solutions a little bit clearer. I want to share a scenario with you. And this scenario, the Carter family, I'm just going to call them the Carter family. The parents were Lisa and Mark, right? They had 3 young kids, and they wanted to ensure their legacy was well protected. Lisa owned a small business, and it's been growing. It's been steady. Over the years, it's been steady. While Mark, he had a mix of investments and savings. So they decided to embark on a thorough estate plan. And after hearing about a friend of the family's facing disputes over an inheritance, the Carter family decided to sit down and have a plan of their own. And in doing so, boy, they uncovered a lot. And here are just some of the things that we talked about for the Carter family smart estate plan. Number 1, specific distribution. See, the Carters created a clear will outlining the wishes of the asset distribution, which means that it included a financial provision for their children's education and long-term care. So that was taken care of right off the bat. Number 2, there was a trust creation. And in that trust creation, they established a trust to protect their assets, keep it away from probate, and to ensure that their kids inherited what was being managed responsibly until the kids became of age. And that trust would hold that for the family. Number 3, they talked about tax strategies and some things people miss in the conversation. But with guidance from your financial advisor, they can incorporate efficient tax strategies that ensure that your estate wasn't overly diminished by taxes. And this is probably the most common thing that's overlooked. Most people are looking at the cash they currently have and the value that it's currently worth. Always mistakenly not paying attention to the taxes that may be due to a larger estate. Number 4, business continuity plan. Lisa drafted a succession plan at her business, and it designated a trusted manager to continue operating and preserve its value for generations to come. Yes, Lisa had put a person in place to continue to run the business that could continue to make the business generate revenue. But number 5 was most important, communication. See, the Carters openly discussed their estate plan with their children and their extended family, ensuring transparency and understanding. And see, this makes everything flow much easier in times of crisis, in times of need. So some of the positive outcomes that are led from that is that years later, Lisa and Mark, once they passed away unexpectedly, that their estate plan proved to be invaluable. The trust prevented assets from getting tied up in the probate court, allowing time to access the funds for the children's education and their living expenses. The business continued to thrive thanks to the continuity plan that they put in place. And eventually, it provided a financial stability for the family. There were no disputes among the relatives, and the Carters had communicated their wishes very clearly. This story should showcase how proper estate planning can safeguard your family's future, and it ensures your stability financially and your peace of mind. And that's really all we're here to do. It highlights the importance of being proactive, being thoughtful, and having a planner's mentality. that aligns with your goals and your values. If this particular story resonates with you, and this is the kind of impact that you envision on your own planning, I'm going to ask you to give us a call. Go to roncojohnson.com or lifestylefocuswealthcommunity.com and schedule some time to sit with one of us one-on-one and see if we can help you with your planning. But if you're watching this program and you want to make a comment, please drop something in the comments right there and ask a couple of questions, because these things are important. We want to make sure in 2025 that you're not being left without, or that you're not leaving someone out unintentionally. You know, if you feel that our message got across to you today, give me a thumbs up, put it in the bio, put it down low. Let us know that you're listening. I'd like to say hello to Sam. Hey, buddy, how are you? I see you. Thank you for dropping in there. I know that you guys are coming in a little sooner and later and sticking with us today. I really appreciate it. Well, listen, when we come right back, we're going to take a break. But when we come right back, we're going to talk a little bit more. Well, hopefully we'll answer some questions from you, the viewers, about having a smart estate plan and what that looks like. You know, this is your time and this is your opportunity to ask your questions. I'll see you right back. Hey, join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Membership starting at $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So register online today at www.lifestylefocusedwealth.com. Hey, it's Ronco Johnson, your Lifestyle Focused Wealth Coach. Thank you for joining us. Man, we've been having fun today. We're talking about what is a smart financial plan and what is a smart estate plan and how that works for you in situations, right? That's what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know that. You know, when you're sitting in front of your attorneys or you're writing these documents up, man, it can be very tough. It can be very tough at times to go through it and handpick who you want to designate to do certain things and why is it important. It's very, very important. And I'm looking at some of you guys that left me some takeaways. Leela, thank you. Since it's always best to have your legacy covered, you don't want to have your family have a headache. You're exactly right. We don't want headaches. We don't want headaches. We don't, because at the end of the day, it's really not worth it. It's not worth the peace of mind. It's not worth the peace of mind. We got to make sure that we love one another. We got to make sure that we're doing the things that really do matter. And if we're doing the things that really matter, we're always going to be in position to have the conversation respectfully. And if we're having the conversation respectfully, there's a lot that comes from that. Just a lot that comes from that, you know? I really can't say how important thorough communication really plays when it comes into the estate planning process. Is there any other questions out there anymore? Anybody else got a couple of takeaways for me today? Anybody else got some takeaways? If you do, be sure you put it in the comments for me. And I know you got some. Come on, you guys. It's free today. It's not even costing you a dime. So get your questions answered. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that we tell you, be sure you go online. Be sure you go online and join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Please do it. Do it today. Why? It's just $16 a month. $16 a month when you pay your annual subscription. And you're going to be just like everybody else. You'll be amongst a group of people who are already benefiting from what millionaires and billionaires do. And conversations just like this one, you know, you need to have your roadmaps established. You need to go ahead and start thinking about, what does it look like if I go ahead and prepare for having a lights out moment? That's one thing that I don't have to review very often. Once it's done, it's done. Once it's said and done, it's done. Once it's said and done, it's done. Right? Yeah, I see a few of you out there asking some questions here. Trying to give a time for you to finish writing it out so I can see exactly what you want to ask me. But in the meantime, I'm going to say this. I enjoy having gotten a chance to meet some of you out in the public this past week. I'm hopeful that I see some of you out there. If you're in the Atlanta area, please stop in and say hello. Please stop in and say hello. Please, can I share the SMART acronym again? Okay. The SMART acronym, it stands for that we gave earlier in the beginning. Let's see if I can go back in our good old notes. And I might even put some of this in our, I may put some of this in our notes so you can click on it and review some of it yourselves as well. Okay. SMART acronym. Are you ready? S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for achievable. R stands for relevant. And T stands for time bound. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That is our SMART acronym for today. Thank you, Leela, for checking in. Thank you for taking notes. If there's anyone else out there that wants to ask me a question, or please put it in the comments, put it in the chats. But even if you don't have time, do me a favor, click the like button, share this episode with someone else that we can definitely have this conversation with, because there are a lot of people who have been laid off from work and they're looking for smart estate planning ideas. They probably need it more than they ever have before, just because of how things are in the world today, right? Would you agree with me on that? Things are getting tougher. Things are getting tougher, and these concerns are coming up, and they're clearly something that people need to plan for. And there's nothing wrong with being ahead of the curve. On this one, we want to be ahead of the curve. I'd rather you be ahead of the curve than just on the curve. Good deal, good deal. I see some of you guys are agreeing with Miss Wilson here. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised that many more of you don't have more questions about this part. Because we talk about it all the time, right? We talk about preparing for a lights out moment. We talk about having your insurance in place. We talk about uh, your wills, your trust, your house, your business. Sometimes in this conversation, it was amazing to me that I had 3 phone calls just this past week. And everybody was like, well, I'm going to put it in my brother's name and my sister's name. And we're going to do his joint venture. And we're going to put it in everybody's split name. And it's like, oh, you haven't been watching the show. You don't want to put that in your name. Own nothing and control everything. And what do I mean by that? Some estate planning, some trust management, Yeah. So, you don't want your family. You don't want your family out here disagreeing with one another. And you don't want it to be a public spectacle. Having these trusts in place keeps it private. No one needs to know the ongoings of your family's planning. Keep that to yourself. Protect your kids who are young today so they don't have to have that conversation with everybody out there. Yes, I think I'm beginning to see what you guys are writing now. I do believe that if you want to keep your state of mind in place and your stress levels down, I do believe having an estate plan, an effective one, a smart plan, is the best way of going. Own nothing and control everything. Hey, that's my motto. I think that's just the best way of doing things. So you don't overcomplicate things. Own nothing, control everything. And whoever's the trustee is in control. Simple as that. Anyone else got a comment for us today? If you don't have a comment, if you have a comment, let me know. Do me a favor. Be sure you take a moment of your time and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and watch the full versions. And you can catch us at roncojohnson.com or at Ronco Johnson if you want to catch up with us, or you can follow me. I am back on Instagram at Ronco Johnson, by the way, and Facebook at Ronco Johnson, and then also LinkedIn and TikTok at Ronco Johnson. So I look forward to seeing you guys there and hearing more dialogue from you. But as I can say to you, I really appreciate your ear. I love hearing from you every week, every Friday, right here at 1 o'clock. And we come up with some interesting ideas. But today we just wanted to give you some smart ways of thinking about planning for your estate. And hopefully this has been a conversation that you see value in. Yeah, well, I think keeping people out of your business is important. I think we already got too many lawmakers in our business. I think we got too much other stuff going on. I think it's time for us as individuals to start growing up, to start thinking for ourselves a little bit more, and take some accountability and responsibility, and saying, "Hey, this is my legacy. This is the estate that I built, and this is my family, and I want to make sure that I give it the way that I need to give it, and give it away properly. And that way, I'm not overfunding our government or underfunding my family." All right? Perfect. So if you took away some information from this conversation today, I want to know. I just want to know if this is a meaningful topic that you have learned from today. At the end of the day, we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes we have to go through an experience. It is well too late. And By that time, you're doing your best you can do to survive. But if you get your team together beforehand and you start to have these conversations and you go ahead and start planning for that lights out moment, I promise you, you will be prepared. It may still hurt, but it won't be as difficult to go through the situation because you will have already planned for it. So keep that in mind. Hey, listen, I'm Ronco Johnson. Thank you guys for joining us today. This is When the Lights Go Out. Are you ready? And like I said, I'm here every Friday, 1 o'clock. Thank you guys for joining us. And you know what? I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. And until then, I want you to have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you at the top. So God bless, and I'll see you next week.